Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Nick, and this is the 90s Guys Show. Today is a video about what if. What if Ric Flair had not survived that plane crash? What if his back had not been able to be healed after he had broken his back in three places? October 4th, 1975, in Wilmington, North Carolina, the plane went down. Paralyzed Johnny Valentine killed the pilot. Mr. Wrestling, Bob Bruggers, and David Crockett were also on the plane. Ric Flair suffered three places that were broken in his back. Doctors told him he'd probably never wrestle again. Actually, they guaranteed it. He went through a rigorous training and rehabilitation program and came back in 8 months. What would have happened? How would the landscape of professional wrestling would have been if Ric Flair had to have retired in 1975, or if he'd passed away? What if the entire crew on that plane had perished? Wrestling would be very different. The style of that time has carried on in a lot of ways. Evolution would have never existed, I don't think, with Randy Orton, Batista, and Triple H. The fantastic matches with Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, Sting, Piper, Garvin, Magnum TA, the Four Horsemen would have never existed. There's so many questions. It kind of boggles my mind of 16-time world champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, WWE champion. You know, the list goes on of all the accolades this man has. And, you know, obviously he retired, but it's crazy to think that how different wrestling would have been for WCW, NWA, the time that he was in the WWE, the first time especially, when he helped The Undertaker win the WWE title when he faced Hogan. Flair put over so many people. I can't imagine the Four Horsemen not existing. If it wasn't for the Four Horsemen, there would have been no groups like DX and NWO, and even currently the New Day. Nation of Domination. It's guys like Tully Blanchard, Arn, and Ole Anderson, Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Sting. There's so many guys that, because they were associated at one time with Ric Flair, either a match they had, Kerry Von Erich pinning Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title. Even though he lost the title shortly afterwards, it still propelled his career even to a higher extent. It's just another interesting tidbit on that is Magnum TA. Well, before I go into that, winning the Royal Rumble in 1992, lasting the entire time, and winning the vacant WWF title. It was unthinkable. It was crazy. The type of promos that people have learned how to do, and sort of that style that he does, well, he used to do anyway, of wrestling, has been carried on through many different people. Magnum TA was two-time NWA United States champion. He was groomed at one point to win the World Heavyweight title from Ric Flair. He was having a feud with Nikita Volkov for the United States Championship at the time, and he lost the title. And then in 1986, he wrapped his Porsche around a pole in Charlotte, North Carolina. His C4 and C5 vertebrae exploded. He was going to be a three-time U.S. title winner. he was going to be the next world heavyweight champion. He had to retire. He was partially paralyzed on one side. They didn't think he'd ever walk again, but he did. He went on to manage, do commentary, things like that. If he had not had that accident, what type of impact would he have had on the wrestling industry? He would have went on to win the World Heavyweight title. Would he have went to WCW? Would he eventually went to the WWF? What type of accolades would this man have had? Now, granted, he is a legend even for the short time that he was in professional wrestling. He's still a legend. He got the name from the running TV show that was going on at that time with Tom Selleck, Magnum TA. He got the name Magnum because he resembled Tom Selleck, and he used his initials of his first and last name, Terry Allen, Magnum TA. They had him wear, he had the mustache, the hair. They had him ride a motorcycle. He had some really awesome matches with Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair, Nikita Volkov. I mean, there's a lot of... Go on the network, check out matches on YouTube, check out I think there's also some matches on the Four Horsemen DVD. It's crazy to think that, what if Flair had not survived the plane crash? What if he had to retire? What if Magnum TA had not had that accident in his car? The crazy thing is he sat in that car for 2 hours after that accident had happened before anybody found him. He could have died in that car. Who knows? But I mean, obviously I wasn't alive yet. I was only a year old when it happened. But it's, being an appreciator of professional wrestling throughout the years, I appreciate the man's contribution to the business. I've seen his matches. I'm a big fan of Magnum PI anyway, in the 80s. So the Magnum TA character was fantastic to begin with. I thought it was awesome. So, I mean, if you really think about it, how would have things changed? What would there have been matches between, let's say, Hulk Hogan and Magnum TA? Would there have been matches between Magnum TA and Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes? There's a whole list of things that could have happened. But anyways, if you liked this video, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button down below. Watch my other videos. Check out my podcast on the fnxnetwork.com. Check out my Facebook page, The 90s Guy. Also, check out Slamcast, which is the Facebook page for my podcast. Leave a comment down below. Give suggestions on videos you'd like to see. And I'll see you all later.